There are endless Bitcoin podcasts. Most of them pretend they're always right. We don't. Bitcoin Tonight, live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Club Underground. No scripts, no influence or hierarchy, no mercy for bad ideas. Some takes land and some don't. Some sentences should have stayed in our heads. You'll hear all of it live with us, HumbleWarrior, Mr. Ulric, and Phil. Plus, a chat that makes sure we know when we're wrong. If you're not here live, you're missing the point. And yes, you're missing the best part. Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Bitcoin Tonight. Catch us live. The replay, it's not going to hit the same.
That's right. Welcome back to Bitcoin Tonight, episode 11. It's going to be very spicy, going to be a whole lot of fun. Here's a couple of the topics that we are going to take a look at. The $1 trillion in U.S. trading, the Remnant Persist. We're going to take a look at some AI to demonetize Hollywood. What else? We've got some Hopium, some more capital gains, Hopium. What else? Some Bitcoin marketing. Possibly that's going to be some Copium. And we're going to talk about some lifestyle grifts, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very spicy. Let's get ready to do it. Here we go. Club Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium.
Guys, like J.M. Tibbet said, it's Spicy Monday. And, you know, you can only be spicy when there's no influencer hierarchy, like Humble says in her brilliant intro for Bitcoin Tonight. And so we're going to be free speaking and all types of fun topics. It's going to be a good episode. The first thing we're going to talk about is some stocks. Of course, what's more fun than the stonks? But bear with me because volatility is coming. U.S. stocks trading hits $1 trillion a day as of pretty much 6 days ago to the time of this recording. So look, I'm not going to read that whole tweet, but I do want to get your guys' input. Is that a good, Humble, you first, is that a good thing or a bad thing for the assets that we hold dear? Is that a good thing for Bitcoin? Is that a good thing for regular people in general? What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting. I mean, sure. I don't really have too many thoughts on that. I haven't been tracking it too much.
What's your, Phil, when you think about increase in money in investments, all types of investments, whether good, bad, indifferent, how do you see that playing a part in where Bitcoin is going?
It's kind of interesting, right? Because we'd like to think that Bitcoin is this separate asset that kind of tracks something a little bit different than what the average person is, let's say, purchasing and whatnot. But yet we seem to see more and more of a correlation with Bitcoin and a lot of other assets. Like, I don't really, like to me, I don't really know where to go with that,
Yeah. Here's a chart for you guys. Oh, I'm looking at it on my own screen. Here we go. So over the course of a year, it's gone up 50%. And I'm wondering, like, is that money printing? Is that just people that were sitting on the sideline all throughout the Federal Reserve, what is it, quantitative tightening program that started in 2022? These are the kind of things that, we've been promised, the big print is coming. Our friend Lawrence Lepard says that all the time. But when I see this, more value in these equities and equities particularly, I feel like that has not positively affected Bitcoin in any way, one way or another. So, I mean,
maybe gave us a floor.
Say what?
Maybe it gave us a higher floor. Hopefully, I know Humble's like, maybe it gave us a higher floor. Hopefully, I know Humble's like, nah, we're going to 30 to 40K, but like maybe it gave us a higher floor. Maybe we bottomed.
Humble, we didn't bottom, obviously, right?
So, but hold on, I just want to make a point about this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Humble.
No. It was just
go ahead.
Sure that I still felt like we haven't bottomed. We have not bottomed yet. No.
So Humble's like, we're not bottomed yet. All right, fine.
Nope.
That's just like your opinion.
Are you shaking your shoulders?
Be shrugging. He could be shrugging. We could be shrugging. It's okay. Okay, no, but the what you just showed, that chart with the asset turnover, it makes me think of the velocity of money, right? Like essentially what we've seen is that with the increase in money printing, so does the velocity of money. It also has to increase, right? The speed at which it is moving through the system. Right. It can't just stay stuck. So maybe this is just a natural, right? Like it's just a.
And so you're essentially saying cyclical, where maybe that money touches certain assets, certain industries first. And you're saying that Bitcoin is in line somewhere. Maybe they're batting third, maybe they're batting sixth.
Well, we're definitely not batting first at this point. I mean,
definitely not batting first.
So hold on a second, though. That kind of is interesting, though, because we did move before gold. Now, granted, each individual person's expectations about what Bitcoin's price was going to do in whatever amount of time, that's one thing. But if we look at it in terms of these linear price movements, then we can see that Bitcoin actually moved before gold did, and it peaked out. If that's the case, right? If that was the high, which most people believe it was, and it seems to be looking that way. Well, if that's the case, then it did peak out before gold, and then gold.
Well, my problem with that, Phil, is that the volume of money in, or at least money, and mind you, remember, this is volume. So this is money going back and forth. This is activity. This isn't just money in equity. So let me make sure I have that set and clear. This is how much attention is going into Tesla or MicroStrategy or whatever your favorite stock is. But I guess my problem is that it's still going up seemingly, and while Bitcoin has cooled off volume and price. And so it makes me think that the bearish tendencies, like Humble says, tend to be a little more realistic. I had a Vegas trip two weeks ago. I was in the Bellagio, had some dinner before we went to Cirque du Soleil, and some trader happened to be waiting my table, and he saw me looking at the Bitcoin price with despair. And so he gave me his little inputs here or there, and he basically said, hey man, you don't need to despair too much. We will be going down a little bit more, but I wouldn't see us going much more down to 50K. So I don't know. Those traders, I'm starting to trust traders a lot more than the Bitcoin influencers that say we're going to 500, 600K. They have a little more objectivity. What do you think? You guys think that trader has some validity in his? I mean, I think Humble does. Humble, maybe not wait for 30K. Maybe, back the truck up at 52 just in case, right?
Yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about, but he's not quite there yet. He must have, he's... I probably have some more years on him.
That is too funny.
It's okay.
That is too funny. Look, this isn't trading tonight. We want to keep it moving. We have a lot of things to talk about. And so I want to show you guys some more AI. I really like this picture. That's kind of like
you're doing great with these graphics. I really
thank you so much. I appreciate it. And oh my gosh, I hope I have time. I just realized that, look, we're going to talk about some AI while I want you guys to give some input, because I just remembered I didn't load up these videos. So without too big of an intro, this guy who's talking, he says that we're done. And who's we? Well, he's a Hollywood writer, and he was a writer, contributor to the Deadpool series. And he saw this post by Rory Robinson. I forget, either Rhett Reese. I think Rhett Reese is the actual Hollywood guy. But he sees this and it's like, look, I'm looking at this, and as a Hollywood professional, this is scary for my industry. And so what you have here, and I'll show it to you in a minute, but I forgot to upload it onto the StreamYard, but it's a couple of videos, some eye candy for you guys to see how cool AI has gotten over the last couple months with regards to some action-packed fighting scenes. So, but you know, you guys have had your own experiences with AI. Humble, you put together a brilliant, brilliant intro for our channel, of course, or our show. How have you seen AI grow just over the last 3-4 months?
Oh gosh, I mean, in the past like month, there's been substantial change. It's impressive. And that clip, by the way, that you were just showing, that I believe that was wasn't it a 15-minute clip?
This one will be 15 seconds.
The clip with that one, but I think the entirety of that, didn't they say it was like a 15-minute clip?
Oh, really? Maybe I got about 5. I have about 5 15-second clips that I want to show everyone. I think they're going to be pretty fun.
But the one that had Tom Cruise in it, I think. So what I remember, my takeaway was, what's that?
Sorry, this one was only 15 seconds.
Oops. Oh, do we have it? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go. Let's add this one real quick. It's going to be buggy because as soon as I upload it, it's going to show right away. So here's the one. Boom, boom, boom. Oh. That looked like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt to me. I'm sorry.
So it was either this one or another one, but I believe it was this one where they were saying you could do, like, that was a 15-second clip, but I think it was pulled from a 15-minute like episode or whatever they did. That's what I remember reading. Maybe it wasn't that one, another one. But I mean, that's what's crazy, you know? So if we're almost at that 15-minute, like, I mean, my gosh, of course it's going to be over and thank God it's going to be over for Hollywood, because those actors need to go, man. All the corruption that's happening there and all that, like, no, we don't need them.
And Phil, like, you know, people talk about demonetizing all different types of industries, but like, when you think about it, what else is demonetized is, you know, potentially the influence of these elites, of a class of elites that may not have the power or shouldn't have the power that they do, but again, they do because of humanity, and humanity likes to worship people that they see on a stage or in a screen or on a tower. Could AI bring some sort of clarity and objectivity to society, a little more baseness, because we're not following Hollywood people and their political views or their health views? Like, could this potentially be, dare I say it, net positive?
Yeah, but no. I mean, I think that this could be captured as well. You know, you're just like trading one out for the other. You can still have an AI influencer. You know, you have AI artists. You'll have the person who has the rights to that AI person. So it's like that AI artist, that AI celebrity will become famous, and then the person who created them. All right, I totally missed something funny.
Oh yeah, no, we got that. That was brilliant.
As you're explaining, the chat is going, and
yes,
AI will free up more time for these actors to spend time on the island.
And of course, you know, there's another island. Just because they found one, doesn't mean there ain't another
exactly,
one.
Exactly.
So I think, you know, I mean, honestly, as long as there are human incentives, even though the characters may not be human, the person behind it for the time being will be, you know.
Now see, hold on. Okay. Eastside Tony is slick with that one. I'm not posting that one.
Okay.
That one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Bill, you know what we're talking about there?
No.
Oh no.
But I'm sure
not even gonna bring it up. No, if Eastside Tony can talk about it in the chat, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I want to show one more. I think this will be fun considering island talk. Let me see if I can upload it really quick. You guys are gonna like this one.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man!
Oh gosh.
He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die, and now you die too.
That's
kind of fun there. So they talk. the AI guys talk, and they have
yeah, I mean,
dialogue and
Seedance is CapCut. So there's like CapCut, ByteDance. ByteDance is, I think, the parent company. So ByteDance, and then there's Seedance. I think they're the same company. So, you know, think TikTok. I mean, they've been getting the information. I don't know. They've been able to get kind of smart from us over the years, right? Gathering lots of information, but
Now,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. You can get them to talk. I mean, right now you have Sora, right? Sora is the ChatGPT one. Grok is doing a good job. It's learning, you know, it's getting there. I think Grok does a great job with image generation.
Now I want to show one more video, and this is going to have a fun backstory to it. Check it out. So I believe, where's the, there we go. I believe that Disney has a cease and desist for that one. I think that robot was in one of the recent Disney movies. I forget. I haven't watched a Disney movie a new one in a decade, but
yeah.
That one, yeah, AI tonight. Come on, we're expanding. Don't make me go back to metals tonight, bro. Don't make me go back to metals tonight.
Yeah, it's much better, and it's much better than stocks tonight too. So.
That was only for a little bit. I can't.
Fun though. Metals and stocks one night.
Hey, that Metals Tonight cover was pretty slick with the metal text and everything. I think I'm going to bring that one back.
That was the top. That was the top of the metals. Like, that was great. We did that, and then we sunk them. Look, we sunk the battleship.
Did we call the top?
No, we sunk the metals battleship. That's right. Club Underground. Bitcoin Tonight.
Happened here.
But yeah, and I think that it's going to be fun to see where, again, with AI growing. Look, we can make better solutions for our show. We could see people who don't have the capital assets to bring their creativity to bear. And now it's like it's taking away that barrier so that people can share their base creativity. So look, and there's another video that came out from the Dora brothers, are the ones that kept on making those political videos. And and like now they have one where it's a full 3-minute scene of a big giant action movie, and it has like a teaser in it, and Donald Trump is in it, and Kash Patel, and the girl is a completely AI created person, but she looks like Mia Jovovich or something, just a little bit, but not really. And it's like, it didn't have any issues except for the Tesla truck that she was driving happened to have a motor sound to it. Other than that, it was brilliant. So it's like, creativity we're going to see humanity in their most creative form, I think, very soon. And we won't be censored, or we won't be, what would you call it? Barred from showing our creativity, because guess what? Hollywood gets to have first dibs to everyone's eyes. So I think it's a good thing. Let me see what do we have next. I'm sorry, I lost all my stuff. Because here are the slides. Okay, so next, we have the Hopium segment. Look, Bitcoin's in a bear market phase. Obviously, it seems like we could be here for a while, but we seem like we keep on finding possibilities where Bitcoin could turn a new leaf. And this one, I'm reaching, guys. I'm reaching for this one. Blood moons. Blood moons seem to have a correlation to Bitcoin price. Every blood moon since 2010 they've had a price correlation. The next blood moon is 3/3/2026, and then 12/31/2028, the largest gap in Bitcoin history. But every single blood moon has essentially had a major price change direction. If you can look at this here, maybe a phase shift here or there, but for the most part, like the phase shift, you don't have to shift that much for it to be a major change in the price. So the last blood moon, which was that second to last red line, kind of was the top-ish. And we're creeping up on the next blood moon 3-3. Phil, did you happen to find this out for your daily show at all? Or did you miss this one?
Yeah. And in all fairness, I do appreciate this type of astrology. I mean, this is some good stuff.
I need something, man. I need something.
Okay, I know. It's at this point, right? Like even the Hopium, right? The Hopium at this point is just pure cope. Like now at this point, I started off, like I could tell you like a month ago, it was all like, this is gonna, this is the rubber band, it's overexpanded, 220K, right? January 15th, the 15-day window, all these things are happening. Now at this point, it's just like, well, these are definitely bottom signals. It's like, okay, so we've got this other signal now that shows the bottom. And so it's just funny. It's just funny to watch like all
What is the Hell Money podcast?
Oh man.
Is that something, Humble, you know about that?
What is that?
What? No, I don't know. I mean, Epstein Island, astrology. You know what I mean?
But wait, there's more. There's
more.
more.
Okay.
Look, I mean, this guy has been tracking this. And so he had this post
They've all been tracking.
He said the last blood moon was on 11/08/2022. Sounds familiar, right? That was the FTX debacle.
Wow, I feel like we just had a blood moon. That's so strange.
I just want to point out that the power law guy, right, and Plan B, they also track their patterns too, and they update their models, right? When stuff doesn't fit anymore, right? So it's okay. Everybody's a broken clock, right? Like we're all humans. It's broken clocks. It's okay. I want to believe too, but at the same time, I know that nobody knows anything. So
guys who are watching out there, look, check this out. Check out the all the past blood moons. Check out the ones that are going into the future. Verify. Let me know if the blood moon theory is off. What did we do on near May 26, 21, November 19, 21? Let me know, okay? Because I'm a believer in the blood moon theory. I think 3/3/26. Humble, you better buy the dip, girl.
No, I know.
Really?
I'm buying we're buying the dip, but
it's over. It's up. It's up. In 3 weeks, we're going up. Maybe we stay flat for a little bit, a month, maybe 6 weeks, but we're going up. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I mean, BTC Moon guy is with me. He wants to believe. Look,
we all want
moon, blood moon. Change your name to BTC Blood Moon Guy for the next 3 months. I think we're on the right path.
Good for you, because I have a feeling those results are going to be slightly different than what we're looking at right now.
Hello. So we have okay, so next thing. So this is kind of
lunar events.
So the state.
Oh.
We haven't talked about the state in a while. Look, no matter what people believe, the state is a form of socialism, communism. Anytime people are taking from the creators and the builders of society, through coercion, through violence, that's a communist dynamic, and we on the Pleb Underground aren't afraid to say that. And so the Dutch Parliament, by the way, the Netherlands was considered the birthplace of capitalism by some people, but it seems like the Dutch Parliament has now authorized 36% of unrealized capital gains tax, and it's just passed by their House of Representatives. So it's happening. And so this guy right here, I'm not going to show you the video because he's speaking Dutch. And
what's his name, Ulric? What's his?
Excuse me.
What's his name?
Michael Hoogeveen.
Hoogeveen.
I destroyed his name too when I tried to pronounce it.
It's me. I think it's Mikel Hoogeveen.
Oh, it's the Mikel. There's no A. I'm sorry. Mikel Hoogeveen.
Hoogeveen.
It's unrealized gains tonight.
That's right.
You guys, get ready for your dystopian future. You heard it here first. That's what you all get for sitting on the sidelines and not ushering in hyper Bitcoinization. Obviously, this thing is too small to read, but Bitcoin news broke down. Excuse me?
It's also too long.
Yeah.
It's also too long, but it's more of a trust me, bro. Bitcoin News did the math, and essentially you're going to end up at the end of the day, he says you're going to lose 28% of your shares permanently because you're going to be forced to sell whatever you have at the end of the year. If you have a certain amount, let's just say $100,000 worth of euros in assets, guys, Europe definitely knows how to slow down prosperity, socialize productivity. Humble, do you even want to visit Europe anymore?
No. No, I don't.
It used to be the cultural center of the world, right? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it's crazy. Like you grow up dreaming of like visiting there and oh my gosh, gonna see the queen. And like now it's like, no, I have no desire.
Did he say this? What's my gulag job going to be? Shoot.
Yeah.
I want to hear your guys' gulag job first. Phil, what's your gulag job? Phil's gonna run away forever. He's gonna stay underground, man.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he created the pleb underground. But what's your gulag job?
Well, in the event that is the dystopian future that we've spun to, I'm gonna have to stick with something technical. I like cabling and wiring and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be something like that. I'm fairly useful in that manner. So
Phil, Humble, are you going to be like a matriarch of a community, right? I mean, isn't that what this Marxist theories, like, we kind of bring back, the matriarchy and and basically emasculate men. There's a potential role for you there. And we could trust you to say, if we're going to have a matriarch, we're going to have one like HumbleWarrior. I guess it's not the worst thing there. But what's your gulag job?
Yeah, I think that sounds appealing. It sounds really great.
We can all move to Humble's little socialist community there, and she'll
exactly
keep the underground going. Yeah. I could be one of those
races now, and this should be good.
I could be one of those turncoats. I just may get one of them. I just may get one of those little armbands, and go report all the capitalists in the world and say like he did that, and then get my medal from my communist overlords. So say what?
You're like a hall monitor.
I would be a hall monitor, but that
right? Which kid aspires to be the hall monitor, right? Like that's that
was a thing. The Soviet Union. In fact, look, my wife is Russian, so she shows me all these old Soviet movies, and that was a role in society from the 50s to like 91, the year that the Soviet Union was broken up. There would be people there, basically volunteer police, and their whole job is to rat you out. If you are going against, the local, rules if you're talking about things that you shouldn't be talking about, they're going to blow a whistle. They're going to bring the real cops to bear down on you. It's a really messed up world, but guess what? The incentives are, if you just work with your overlords, you'll be given a cookie. It's really, really, really screwed up.
I do want to go back to that actual post that like you don't have to show it, but sure. the post about what those numbers are for the 36% unrealized capital gains, because it's really it's a really strange scenario, right? Because the scenario, so the example that he gives is a hypothetical. However, it's fairly likely, and essentially what it is that, so you file your taxes while you are in a gain, let's say, right? So right now, let's say you're at 100% gain. So you file your taxes in that gain. Now, in the time, let's say that you file those taxes and the stock price drops, yes. Now, all of a sudden, you're at a loss. And now you're paying taxes on a gain that you no longer even have. Like, I don't even this to me is where you start to really wonder, like, do some people genuinely just have contempt for their fellow humans? Like, why would you wouldn't want this done to you? Why would you do this to somebody else? It's crazy.
And why 36%?
I know, right? Like, where do they get that number even? That's made up shit, right?
Yeah.
The same way that even when the bailouts, the great financial crisis, like people think that number came from something. It's a made up number. All of this is made up. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Where does that 36% come from?
It's crazy.
Yeah. They're scammers.
Totally.
It's so, and to think that it actually helps the people that don't have unrealized capital gains, like with all of the inefficiencies of government, with all the scamming within governments, how much of that is actually going to go if they say, oh, that tax is so to redistribute to the people that need it, but people are trimming off stuff on the side. Well, by the time it gets to, I guess, the poor people, it won't even be worth all the hullabaloo that it took to get there. So it's just, but guess what they've done? They've secured themselves more reason to exist. The government industry is the industry that has to keep growing, because if it doesn't, it essentially dies. So it's one of those parasites that's just knows no bounds until it capitulates. And we see that on occasion. Smaller countries it happens. When we start seeing larger economic zones start hemorrhaging, start blowing up, we're going to see a new world order. And I hope it doesn't come to a physical war because of that. But that's oftentimes the best way to deal with those types of things.
I just want to, before you move to the next topic, I just want to talk about this comment here that BTC Moon guy said, right? I'm assuming that it's not totally passed, and I doubt it ever will. So this is the interesting thing, right, that you'll notice about a lot of, probably almost all regulation. And I noticed that this would happen, especially in the corporate world. And essentially what it is that they make a very outlandish, extreme type of regulation, right? Which forces an opposition to come along, right? This is a scam. Okay. I'm serious. So the opposition comes in and says, no, you can't do this. This is bad, right? And here's why this is bad. And then what ends up happening, right, at that moment is once that dynamic takes place, their extremist view is now validated. And now you've got somebody else that's compromising with them all of a sudden. So you weren't about to get taxed that 36% on unrealized gains. Now all of a sudden we're negotiating a 12% tax on unrealized gains that seems to be coming closer to the table. I'm telling you, the mind fuck is so insane, and people don't even realize it's happening. And it's just so sad. And this happens over and over again. It's a typical tactic. Okay. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit is in like CIA handbooks. Okay. On how to like dismantle, like personal freedom or something like that. Because you'll notice that like anytime you see something like this, well, the first thing they do is they put together organizations, right? Oh, well, we're going to take a look at this. We need a committee. Right? You always need a committee, and then that committee always takes up a certain amount of people. They need a certain amount of time. And now all of a sudden you're talking, right? Now all of a sudden you're having this discussion, this back and forth. Now all of a sudden you're entertaining ideas that you immediately rejected because they were anti-human. And now it's like, we're going to compromise. I'm sorry, but it's such bullshit. And I
don't know why you would apologize for that. I mean, the Overton window moves both ways. And, people are more than willing, when their incentives are aligned with it, to push some sort of extreme view for so long until it becomes the norm, like you said. And I think how long have we been hearing about unrealized capital gains? Maybe 4 years ago, it would be like, you'd be laughed out the window. Now, like you say, laughed out the room. Now it's a discussion. You'd be thrown out the window, like the meme suggests, right? And now you're not thrown out the window. Then you'd be laughed out the room. And now, like, let's discuss this, okay? Like, hey, calm down. Okay, we'll give you a little bit. And all of a sudden, dystopia.
Yeah, and to BTC Moon guy's point about have they ever had unrealized capital gains tax? That's a very good question. I'm wondering. Several countries have implemented forms of taxes on unrealized capital gains, often referred to the Netherlands, Norway proposes, or it's sold. No. It's interesting. It's interesting the way that that Google responds to it, because there isn't a country that actually has unrealized capital gains,
Somebody just said Germany.
but they've implemented similar exit taxes.
What did you say about Germany, Humble?
Somebody in the chat said Germany.
Exit tax.
Yeah.
So maybe you leave the country when you have some sort of some capital assets, some non-liquid assets. In order to leave, you have to give up a certain percentage of them.
Yeah, forever. Like if you're going to leave, you don't just get to pay something and leave. Like you have to continue to pay taxes.
No, I mean, if you separate, you don't have to continue to pay taxes if you leave a certain country, right?
No, like there's some that they do that, isn't it? Where that's
give up
like their
citizenship?
way to prevent you from leaving. Isn't that part of the thing?
I'm pretty sure you could pay your way out of exit tax.
Norway, just so you know, Norway does have a tax on unrealized capital gains if you exit the country. So that's the form that exists right now. That is
now they're pushing that envelope to say, hey, let's just unrealized for everyone, whether you leave or not. Why not?
Yep, America does have an exit tax.
That's right.
Yep, absolutely.
So you can pay to leave.
So there's pay to leave, but then there's also the tax on unrealized capital gains when you do leave from Norway. So that's interesting. Anyways, it's just so like it's just so anti. I just find it's like anti-human. Like it's just so, like
anti-human, it's anti-capitalist, it's anti-productivity, it's anti-Bitcoin. Anyone who, and these people who the worst part about it is the people who are political-ish or political-like. If you are advocating for politicians or even entertaining politicians that would even sniff this kind of stuff, and you also say, but I like Bitcoin, it's like huge red flag. Like these types of things don't coexist. Bitcoin is a borderless monetary system. How do you have an exit tax for a borderless monetary system? Like there is none. How do you have unrealized capital gains potentially on Bitcoin where it's purely a money in and of itself? Like there is no gains on that. It's a money on its own. So it's like somehow this argument about, what people owe the government, there has to be some sort of change in how we approach what the government thinks they deserve from us. And it has to continually trend towards zero because they're doing less for us than ever before. Ever since the microprocessor came around, the government used to be the intermediary of all things. And then guess what? We were able to do a lot because of the microprocessor. We don't need the Pony Express. We don't need the Department of Education. A lot of this stuff can happen because of the technology that we have. But the government keeps on trying to shoehorn its way into our exchange of information. Get out of the way.
Well, what about banks? We normalized how we get screwed over by the banks.
Yeah.
Nobody really, it's just like, oh, well, that's just what happens. It's like, and some people don't even know. They have no clue. Or they just don't care. They're just like, well, they're keeping my money safe.
Are they really?
They're not even doing that.
Yeah. No, but that's what
they're keeping themselves relevant. We need to tax something. We need to take a fee. It's not a tax, it's a fee. We need to have a fee for something until you're obligated to.
We're going to take your money and then we're going to make money off your money and we're going to charge you fees and we're going to it's just absolutely insanity. It's just, oh my gosh, banks.
And on top of that, why would someone who says, I like Bitcoin, wave the flag and be a proponent of custodial solutions, of banks owning custodying your Bitcoin? We don't need you. Now, that's not to say that it won't happen. That's not to say that it's not a sure part of our Bitcoin future at some point. Banks won't just disappear one day. But if you are a Bitcoin trailblazer and you're also saying Fidelity this or Caitlin Long this, Caitlin Long, bank banker. Like, we don't need you. It doesn't, it's you're there, you're here, Bitcoin's there. In order for you to integrate Bitcoin, you have to increase friction, unnecessary friction. We don't need you. So people who are advocating for those types, they're just getting in the way of hyper Bitcoinization. Am I out of bounds when I say that?
Depends on who you speak to, right?
So. We probably got one less retweet because of that statement.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, look, because it's everything is good for Bitcoin, and if you don't cheerlead all of those things, right, then you don't see the bigger picture.
Cheerlead
the Caitlin Longs and the banks.
Oh,
right?
the Avanti Bank that has
Yeah.
somebody from Epstein Island associated with it as
Uh-oh.
I mean, how about that? Yeah, let's
Right?
get into that. One of the old programmers.
Is that the name of her bank?
Avanti
Bank, yeah.
Yeah. One of the old Bitcoin core developers is over there, and yeah.
Zing.
One of the old developers that had something to do with Epstein. Who knows what, But still, it's just like, why would you do that? I've taken in so much of the information. I don't think it was pleasant information, whoever it was, but I don't want to stir anything up either without having that validated.
It's like, and I think it's a good segue to the next segment, because like we have this alleged Bitcoin marketing department, and all these people, like Phil said, you're supposed to cheerlead certain things. You're supposed to advocate for certain things so that people can get their short-term bag. And when they get their short-term bag, they'll throw you a bone, maybe like your post, maybe invite you to speak at an event or on a podcast. And, these kind of things actually are against what hyper Bitcoinization is about, where we get rid of all the slop and the distractions, and we just say, let's just make money better. And so Bobby Shell has his own opinion of why he thinks Bitcoin marketing sucks. And yes, there is Bitcoin marketing. We'll see a post afterwards that kind of counters that, but same podcast influencers say the same thing for 4 years, even more. They write engagements for sponsorships, 10 to 15% are thinking deeply. And he says, hey, shoot the messenger with lightning sats. And then he makes his way out, like kind of like, what's his name from He-Man? I kind of like that. Until next time, right? But Phil, would you say that he's kind of on the same wavelength as the Pleb Underground with this post in particular?
Yeah, I would definitely say with that post in particular, he's definitely touching at a core, like a core issue that like just people for the most part stay away from, right? And it's because the thing is this, right? The truth is that if you don't get these really big personalities, and it's not enough to just get a big personality to come onto your podcast, and say the magic words once, they have to keep doing it over and over and over again. Right. And unfortunately what happens is that you end up seeing people shift the way that they're making content from they want to talk about Bitcoin, they want to have, real conversations, to I just need this to be worthwhile. Right. And of course, right, being worthwhile is different things to different people. And to some people, right, like it being worthwhile just means, monetizing it to the max and getting as much as you can out of that particular interaction, right, monetarily, but essentially making it entirely transactional, which is, again, it's, there's no judgment, to each their own, right? Everybody, if that's what you want to do, by all means, go ahead and do it, but you just shouldn't fool yourself into thinking that you're doing something else, right? Because that's all you're doing. So he's not wrong, right? Like, this is what ends up happening. And unfortunately, that does end up diluting the real messaging and, I guess you'd say, real signal, so to speak. And the other side of that coin, though, is that somebody else would tell you that, well, that's perfectly fine, right? That's also part of it. And they're not wrong, right? All of these different players come to the table. They all come to the space. They all right? Every single person brings whatever, whatever energy they have to the space and whatever it is that they want to do. So to me, it's like, it's not that, we shouldn't have these people. Because once you start getting into the shoulds and shouldn'ts, now you're telling people what to do. And then we're going down the road to tyranny. So it's not about that. But I do think that, hey, fine, right? If we have those people and we have those companies, that's great. Then we also have the people that call it out and give people a counter narrative. So at least they can make up their own minds as to what it is that they want out of, this particular Bitcoin experience. So, I think that Bobby's right. And I think that I just think it's par for the course. And I don't think it's going to change either. Right. I just don't see it changing. If you take a look at any counterculture or any quote unquote grassroots movement that has come up through, through history, at some point, right, once they get big enough, they just get completely diluted. And, it's all just marketing and money, like this has happened to everything that I've ever partaken in throughout history, right? From skateboarding to snowboarding to punk music to you name it, like it grows big enough, it gets totally diluted, and it's just what it is, man. It's the nature of the beast.
Real quick, so this is not David Zell, this is Bobby Shell. So I imagine that Eastside Tony's talking about someone different. That's the guy who's working with the nonprofit Bitcoin organization that I just have a weird feeling about nonprofit organizations. It's like, okay, let's sidle up to a government and let's get funded. So not the same guy.
They still make profit.
Say what?
They still make profit.
Oh, okay.
Nonprofit organizations, like that's just a designation, right? But they still
that's the part that I just can't stand. It's like
it's all bullshit.
Confusing on purpose. Humble, what are your thoughts on this Bitcoin marketing? Look, you've been very you share a lot of wisdom. Well, I don't even know where you get it from, but in terms of how to build businesses and how to market, branding. When you see Bitcoin marketing, the collective kind of independent groups, how do you summarize that in your own words? What's happening there?
The Bitcoin marketing in general, like where we're at now, like with
where we're at now, how it's grown, like,
it's funny. I mean, when I first came into the space and spaces was happening, it was new. Right. And I remember like, I think actually one of the titles of the spaces I hosted was like, Bitcoin marketing department or something, is like before we had that term associated with it, which was really bad, but it's like, how do we get people to know? Because there is no marketing department and we really need to let people know, like, should we make brochures? Should we do what should we do? Like people just need to know. So, I think there's this desire in all of us. And you see the different stages we go through, people that are first coming into it for various reasons. Let's say it's for the original. Okay. I shouldn't say the original reason. Because really, honestly, sorry, I got distracted because I see Hoofties here.
Yeah.
Hello. Just love that name.
Let's give him a shout out. There you go.
Know. Hello.
Yo, our admin.
Yeah. You go through different stages, like you want everyone to know. And then it's just like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy. Like it's like, it doesn't even matter how I tell people about Bitcoin, it's like it's just, you realize that, I don't know, like, is it really worth your time? You really have to pay attention to people, not try to sell them on anything, and just you have to get to know people to understand what it is, what their pain points are. Like true marketing is anyways, you can't just meet someone on the street and be like, oh, it's this amazing thing, and like, you really need it. Like you kind of have to have a idea baseline of why they need it. Cause it just means something different to everyone. What it means to me, may not be the same for someone else. So I'm glad to see that at least on X, it doesn't seem to be, people aren't trying to shove it down other people's throats anymore. And it's changed from, when we first got in. Bitcoin hasn't, but there are different avenues to get it now. So a lot of people are taking the easy way, which is not really the right way.
I think I want to go ahead. Phil, you had something real quick?
I was just going to say that that people, unfortunately, right? Like people want to get to where they're going as soon as possible in some cases, right? And
a little high time preference.
Yeah, exactly. It's and unfortunately, right? And this is true in anything, right? The faster you want to make money, the more corners you have to cut, right? Like think about it, right? Like think about in anything, right? Like what you're doing, right? If you want to increase the velocity, right, of the money that you want to make, well, so what do you do, right? Like what do you do in order to take more money from more people? To a certain extent, you kind of have to be more things to more people. So in a way, you're technically compromising yourself, right? To a certain extent. And that's perfectly, again, right? To each their own, right? If somebody is willing to do that for whatever ends they want to reach, then so be it. But they just have to realize that nothing comes without a sacrifice. Nothing comes without a trade-off, right? So those people, and those businesses, they are trading something. They may not realize what they're trading on the moment, and what they're paying, they may not even realize that they're paying for it on the moment. But at some point, the chickens come home to roost.
Interesting segue. So we have this post from Mark Moss. He retweeted something. And so, for those who don't know, Mark Moss, Bitcoiner, quote unquote, but been involved in, many, projects that border on British HODL like, that border on, hey, come take my program and I'll, and you can learn how to make money from me. By the way, go into debt up to your neck. Trust me, bro, it will be okay. So, to each their own. Bitcoin marketing department, he says, this is why Bitcoin doesn't need a marketing department. And, this person right here, well, he said these crazies are going to push all the demand. And I don't know if that's absolutely true, because these crazies have a lot of followers and they think that the Bitcoiners are the crazy ones and they think that socialism is the answer. So this isn't to bash on Mark Moss, but we are going to show a video from this woman that's at the World Economic, what is it called? I forget what the World Monetary Fund.
Yeah, and she's with the IMF.
The IMF. Yeah. So we're going to show this video real quick as soon as I pull it up because it's not uploaded.
We have a beautiful opportunity in front of us with the United States being such an unmitigated disaster as it currently is. Okay? So there is the opportunity, and within that opportunity, I would suggest three things. The first one, we have to have a global asset registry.
Wrong.
We have to know who has the freaking money. And if they don't want you to know that they have the money or how much money they have, chances are they got it from somewhere they shouldn't have gotten it from, and they're spending it on something they shouldn't be spending it from. So number one, a global asset registry. Number two, we have to facilitate an international conversation about what is enough. And that if there is a number that is enough, there is a number that is too much. We believe that money becomes power. And when power threatens your democracy, you have to take away power, and the only way to take away that power is by taking away the money. And the only way to take away the money is taxation. So number three, forget progressivity, all right? Forget progressivity, unless by progressivity you mean taxation that makes people less rich. This is not about a 2% wealth tax when somebody's getting a higher return than that. This is about taxation in order to preserve human freedom, to preserve the...
Ooh, that was a rough one. So many things to talk about. And before we go on, Chief Visionary Officer Mark Moss, that caused the Chief Visionary Officer to hurl. Like, it scared the heck out of him. And that guy is more than willing to do all kinds of stuff to enable him in the short term as well. And you see these International Monetary Fund people, they're not nice. They're not nice at all. They say they want to tax you, to steal from you, essentially kill you and your labor. this is not, it's not fun and games. They say that money is a form of power. I think, or money is a form of control or power. I think, what's his name?
Power.
Who's the guy that used to be the Bitcoin educator OG and kind of went off the rails with some like Ethereum stuff? Do you know what I'm talking about? He's kind of balding Armenian guy. Oh man, I forget.
I am lost.
Yeah,
I do not know who that is.
No, I'll go back. But like he always added that as the fourth use case for money: medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account, and form of control or power. So Antonopoulos, yeah, there we go. Thank you guys. Oh, I love the group chat. They're always willing to help. Andreas Antonopoulos. So he would say that form of control. And the IMF knows that, and they're utilizing that knowledge to the best of their ability. Meanwhile, you have normies walking around every day. It's like, I just want to buy a sandwich and a coffee. They don't realize that they are in a war right now, and Bitcoin's their only solution. But guess what? They're letting it slip away because the World Cup is on, because the Olympics are on, because they want to argue about ice. Don't they understand that this right here is the difference between their children's future and the gulag, and me running around telling on all y'all? Because I'll tell you, if we're in the gulag, I'm telling on all y'all. Phil, what are your thoughts on this woman? She's crazy. We need to lock her up.
Oh man, there's so many points. Okay, so I mean, look, the mental gymnastics that are being done, right? So it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, so this central entity is going to regulate who has what money, and it's funny because they don't see that as an extension of tyranny. Right? They don't see that as an imposition of tyranny, right? Like we're doing it for the greater good. I swear it's like one of the biggest mind fucks that we go through, that people can do this type of, I don't even know what to call it, this like fantasy thinking, right? Where they can pretend that they are not just drunk with their own idea of their own possible power, right? And it's like it's so strange, this like idea that you see yourself as this beneficial person for taking away what somebody else has earned through their own choices, right? Their own financial choices. Like it's mind-boggling. It's insane.
Humble, if I had to pick in the gulag between you, the matriarch, and that woman, the matriarch, you would be picked 11 times out of 10. I'm just letting you know.
That's really great.
What's wrong with the IMF? Tell me some stuff that you understand about the IMF. And I'm sure I've never heard of this woman before, but she was even trying to pick a fight with the guy next to her. He seemed like the good cop IMF. It's like she looked at him with like some sort of snide eye, like maybe he said something that was a little more moderate, and she went ballistic. She said, nope, far extreme one way. Y'all are getting the gulag.
Right. So these are the same people that will go into a country like El Salvador and be like, all right, well, we'll give you a loan and we know you're never going to be able to pay us back, but we're going to give you that loan. And then we're going to basically own your ass because, and maybe not El Salvador. They're doing great, but, name the country that needs some help. And then they end up, taxing your citizens. I think it was, Tonga. I think in Tonga, they had that situation where they had a loan and then they had to, I think within 24 to 48 hours, they had to increase their taxes like an insane amount, like double or triple overnight, just to be able to accommodate the IMF. And then they take your coastline and then they take, basically they own you. So yeah, let's listen to the IMF because they always make some great deals with people. But what's always interesting to me when we have this tax conversation, because it isn't just the IMF, it's obviously a lot of people on the left are having this conversation as well, where it's let's tax the rich. So what does that mean? We're going to tax the rich more, but all of the rules that are in place, all of the deductions that you can take if you're smart. I mean, people who own companies and, any business owner out there that does it on their own, or they pay someone like $10,000 to $20,000 to do their taxes so that they get all the tax breaks, because they know that the laws are there to accommodate them. So they can sit there every single time and talk to their base and say, okay, we're going to tax the rich. This is the way to go. We need to, even things out. But the rich are always going to have these advantages to be able to, still end up not having to pay the taxes. You can just tax the crap out of somebody and they're still going to figure out a way because those laws are in effect. So I think it's really silly whenever they do say these things, because it's
tax the rich. They don't realize that when they say tax the rich, there's a lot of people that ain't really rich, but they're talking about them. Taxing the rich is like, everyone but like those people that if we took their money, it wouldn't even matter. Yeah. Anyone that they can take a chunk of money from, that's the rich. But they say tax rich, like, only the guys that you see on the 10 richest people in the world. No. They're talking about everyone but like the 0.1%. Yeah. No one's benefiting from more taxation. That's more money going to the pockets of people who sit on the sidelines and do nothing for economic prosperity, for productivity. It's just a form of grift and a holier than thou grift.
But there are some people who want to pay more taxes because they want to be able to help people that they feel are disadvantaged.
So and empathy, and they're taking advantage of that empathy.
Exactly. They're just, you can like relatives of mine. I could be like, you know what, you're just going to get taxed more. Let them tax me more. I want to pay more because I want to be able to help these people. And it's just like, what?
The difference between voluntarism and coercion.
Like the money isn't actually going where you think it's going. It's just ridiculous. But there's so many people that think that way.
And the elites know that the elite owners of society, they know that they can tug on hearts, tug on strings, formulate a story, utilize the mainstream media to say things a certain way. I mean, think about this with the Epstein stuff. Like, no one was talking about the Epstein stuff until about October, let's just say summer of 2025, maybe the beginning of Trump's administration. But before that, like the Epstein drama has been around since 2019, at least. Who was saying, except for the people in the far corners of the internet that were labeled conspiracy theorists, and the worst of them. And that came to fruition. And now all these political people say that, no, well, now we have to go try them and convict them. With whom? I was talking to a buddy of mine. It's like, well, who's going to try them, bro? It's like, well, we have to put them in front of Congress. I'm like, oh, really? Congress is going to go convict all their buddies that gave them the positions in Congress, right? I don't think so.
Everybody's associated with everybody. I mean, that's what you realize when you start looking into these things.
Mm-hmm. The political religion. I mean, Phil, like, Bitcoiners do talk about the use case of voting and how inefficient it is. I know you've heard of some types of political theories about how democracy, and even this woman talked about a threat to our democracy. It seems like democracy, at least the way it was intended, has been captured to keep certain people in sort of this deep state leadership beyond, their or aside from being elected. The IMF, for instance, no one elected those people to have the power that they have.
Nope.
And so it's like, where do you see democracy versus other forms of government to be a potential solution to what democracy has become? And maybe I'm pushing the Overton window a little bit hard here, but I mean, when we talk about like Hoppe, and he talks about how certain types of monarchies could potentially usurp and be better than democracy. Do you think that there's any validity to that, or is it just, hey, this is the best we have, and we just have to, voting is the best we have, and we just have to make it better?
Yeah. So I don't think, obviously, I don't believe that anybody, that we as individuals can vote our way out of anything. This particular structure that's in place is designed, right? Like democracy. It's kind of funny, right? Because anyways, I was just thinking like it's like a demoncracy, right?
Democracy, yeah. I mean, owned by the demons. That's right.
Like,
Word right in there.
You're stuck, right? You're stuck at the mercy of the, of the masses, so to speak, right? But no, the point I was trying to make was that essentially this particular structure stays like this. So I guess you'd say the beauty of it, right? For the people that desire this, it doesn't matter who's arguing. It doesn't make a difference what the problems are. The state always remains the same. The state always is the apex of power. Okay. It's always the apex of control. It is what directs everything. So it doesn't make a difference, right? Like, and this is kind of exactly, man, like this is the problem, like, so we've, and I don't really have, it's not like I'm going to sit there and offer up a solution. I don't know that monarchies are better, right? Like, I don't know about any of that. I don't know if us de-evolving into what the sovereign individual foresaw with individual states having like all these different rules and fiefdoms and stuff like that. I don't know if that's necessarily better or worse. However, I do acknowledge that all of these different systems are experiments. And whether or not we want to accept that, it doesn't matter. And, we are going to, basically what we've seen throughout history is that we are going to play them out. We have played out every single one of these systems. And here we are now with this particular system. And it clearly, right, it clearly doesn't work because it weaponizes different classes of people. It weaponizes different. I mean, it's just insane.
It
right?
weaponizes your own emotions. We were just talking about empathy.
Everything.
Like, I mean, I've never seen so many bleeding heart, people of both genders, of multiple economic classes. You have the Hollywood people that say the right words, and all of a sudden, you're so right. We love you. And they would never practice what they preach any day of the year. And then you have the people that really have a good heart, like maybe Humble's relatives, and they want to do well. But they're basically rugged like an NFT holder.
Yeah, I mean, they want to do well, but they don't want to do the work to do well. They want the government to do it for them, and they want to trust the government to do what they say they're going to do, even though they shouldn't. So that's the thing where, you can go back, and what I'll say is, but they aren't actually putting your money where you think it's going. So why are you trusting them to do that? You could
never proven that
look
they would
into
do it.
different charities and you could donate money, right? Oh, well, they do that. They do that too. And when they look at the charities, they'll have spreadsheets of how much money goes to marketing, how much money goes to payroll, to make sure that when they're giving these charities money, that it's going as much to the cause as possible, because they want to be able to say, well, I don't think that much should go towards payroll, and I don't think that much should go towards marketing. And the people who are running it, the CEOs, are getting paid way too much. But when it comes to the government, it's like, just take my money and I trust you.
What a psyop that we have fallen for, we collectively. And it often is coming from the fact that we have now, and because of that, we've now trusted our inklings, the way we view the world, to influencers, which are creating for themselves their own little worlds of manipulation, of smaller psyops or collective psyops with their allies. And whether it's health, whether it's financial, fashion, or lifestyle, these people have become our trusted voices in the world. And they go on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. And nowadays, the state is learning to use these people to carry out the state's own nefarious scams. And so, but this influencer in particular keeps on rearing its head, mostly because Bitcoiners like him or like to engage with him so much. But this is a classic. Pay me a subscription fee, and I'll give you, all the wishes, all the things that you want, $1 million per year. And Phil, what is Brian Johnson, this immortal guy, what is he promising with this $1 million thing?
So essentially, if you've been paying attention to him, right, he's been talking about how he has like the best biomarkers in history and all of this stuff, right? And he's doing all these tests. And I was kind of wondering to what end he was publicizing all of this information for all the time. And this is the culmination of that, right? This program, right? See, because check it out. So this is how it works, right? It's the carrot on the end of the stick. He tells you about how good he's doing. It's the same thing as the lifestyle grifters, right? They show you a picture of the guy in the Lambo. Oh, he's got this nice apartment. Oh, he buys this useless crap. Look at him waste those resources. I wish I could do that. And then lo and behold, look, he's got a course teaching you exactly what it is that he's doing. You just got to pay him $1 million per year. In this case, right? So look, he's got the best biomarkers. He's going to sell you this program. You're going to be a part of this exclusive thing. There's only 3 spots available, because he doesn't really need your money, right? He doesn't really need it. He's already like a multimillionaire. What does he need it for? You're just going to be part of some weird, freakish experiment along with him to be a frozen pizza in the future where you're paying to be essentially a frozen pizza in a business, It's just absolutely insane. I think here, let me switch it up here so it's just you and me until Ulric comes back. But yeah, I don't know that, Brian, so I had obviously immediately when I saw that, I was just like, again, this is, to me, it's just such like typical, it's just ego-driven crap. Like, I understand it, right? Like, nobody wants to die, right? It's not a fun thing to think about. It's something that every single human being goes through. Every single human being was born, so everybody dies. Like, yeah, we know the story. But I just find it interesting that these people that think of themselves so highly that, like, I am so fucking special that I should live forever, right? Yeah. I am so special, so special. Like, it's just like, just pipe down. You are not that special. You are a speck of dust in the universe, like everybody else. Okay, it's like, it's just so sad, and it's funny to watch guys like him. Like, he looks like a vampire, right? Yeah. Like, he's incredibly unhealthy. I don't care how good his biomarkers are. He's getting grifted. Okay,
is he
like, huh?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
is he the guy that?
Yeah.
Is he the guy that took his son's blood? Like. That's the guy?
He's the guy who does the blood and the plasma and all the weird stuff, and he does all this, like, he had something about urine at some point. Like, it's just these guys are.
Can you imagine talking to somebody who drinks their own urine? That's so gross. I can't even. That's so gross. I can't believe that's a thing. That's so weird.
And it's funny, right? Because when you think back to it, right? Like, go back to, like, what was it? The 1600s or the 1700s? Look, I don't even remember which one it was, but like, there was like one of the queens, right? She used to use blood as makeup, right? Mm-hmm. Like, people try stupid shit, okay? And if somebody is willing to pay for it, right? If you're desperate enough, somebody will provide a solution to your problem, right? So this guy who's clearly desperate enough and wants to figure out how to live optimally for as long as possible, he's willing to pay whatever it takes. No shit, you're going to find a whole bunch of people that are going to, confirm your bias and take your money. Like, anyways, it sets me off, that stuff. It really does.
The lifestyle stuff, it just like, there's a lot of, again, we have this Bitcoin community on Twitter, and they follow the formulas of these types of people, and you see it so often. And the people with the 6-figure follows, they tell you, buy this book, take this class, come to this seminar. And what a Bitcoin influencer, again, should be, if we're really about the end goal of the Bitcoin mission, is that they should be putting all of that aside and saying, we want to change what we call money. We want to change the power that governments have. We just talked about governments. We understand. Look, I'm pretty much understanding that the state is inevitable. Even when one gets shut down, another one pops up. But if those states are made less powerful because of their inability to create or define money, all of a sudden they can work their incentives out in society a little more honestly, a little more clearly, within physics and within reality. Our Bitcoin influencers are no different than the Brian Johnsons because they're selling wares, they're selling trinkets, snake oil. And the Bitcoiners, the regular people, have to be good enough, head screwed on enough to call them out for their weak hand. And if we don't, we're just showing that Bitcoin's just another industry like Phil's industries that he was labeling, whether it's skateboarding, snowboarding, music, sports. It's just another form for somebody with a loudspeaker to grift off of you. If we really want to change the world, we as the base consumers, as the first consumers of this industry, have to be better. Otherwise, you're not changing shit.
This is kind of the problem, right? And this is the weird thing, because we're also as humans, right? We're social creatures, so there's a certain element of social validation, right?
I'm taking peptides. No, I'm sorry.
Are you?
I think I'm supposed to. My wife said I should be taking certain peptides for my skin. I don't know.
Yeah, we're at that point in the cycle. It was creatine, and then
I'm still taking the creatine.
It was methylene blue
working.
before that. So methylene blue, then creatine, and now we're peptides. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the what was it? Was it the iron? Was it the iron pans? Cast iron pans? That
Oh
was
yeah,
fun.
no, that didn't go away.
Wait, is peptides really a
Oh, yeah,
thing
okay.
right now? Is that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the thing on the internet right now?
Oh, it's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, I was supposed to be taking that I guess I'm ahead. I was supposed to take it 9 months ago. I wasn't. I was ignoring it. I guess now it maybe the
A lot of the
propaganda is
peptides are
loud.
injections too, so it's very
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't know. Black Dog
No.
Crack. That's right. That's right. How old am I? Old.
yeah.
Old.
Sad.
Gen Xer.
You don't get but you get ashy. I get on my husband about that. I'm just like, all right, come on, you got to put some lotion on. You got to take care of that skin.
Yep.
You
That's right.
start getting dry skin when you get older. It's
I
kind
don't
of
know. I don't know why I interrupted Phil. What were you talking? You were about to say something.
I was just talking about the incentives, right? And essentially, that's kind of part of the problem. So look, I'll tell you this, right? So like, if you aren't doing at least what other people are doing, right? Like, so because we were talking about influencers and stuff like that. So like, if you're not at least doing what they're doing, then technically you're falling behind, even though there's no competition, there's no finish line, right, or anything like that. There was no starting gun, right? It's irrelevant.
Sounds like high school.
But yet, yeah, exactly. But yet, right? Like, people are still thinking, well, look, if I'm not doing as well, then I'm falling behind, right? I must be doing something wrong, right? And the measure, right? The measure of success is depending on the field, right? So take a look at what we do, right? So the measure of success has to do with views, clicks, right? Who it is that's willing to sponsor you, stuff like that. So essentially what ends up happening is that a person, in order to gain that success, well, they are going to manage to the metric, right? It's no different than an employee working in a company, right? The company sets the metric, and you're going to work towards that metric. It's the same thing in this case, right? Well, look, if you want to, it's like, if you want to go and get to a certain level, well, then you're going to do those things, right, that are going to get you to that place. Now, whether it's platforming terrible grifters over and over again with terrible messages, that might be
or
it.
Going on those platforms that have terrible messages for the sake of joining the club, right?
Yeah, that too, right? Like, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, it's that all of this serves to essentially create an environment where you're either in or you're out, right? Like, that's what ends up happening. And it's the same thing everywhere. So to me, it's just par for the course. I don't see that again, like, I don't see that changing.
Yeah.
Because people's incentives aren't going to change. Like, it's not like think about it, right? For every, it's like for every individual person that is doing something, let's say for connection, or something like that, you've got a whole bunch of other people that are just thinking about the bottom line. right? Like I know some people that can't even do hobbies because you're not getting paid or you're not making money or there's no like, so it's so funny. Like I remember there was one of my friends like growing up, like I'd find something fun to do and I'd be all excited about it. And it's like, can you get paid doing that? Like, can you turn that into like, it's like, why does everything have to be like that? Like, why does everything have to be like a transaction? Like, can't you just do something because you enjoy doing it? And apparently you can't, right? Apparently like people who don't see life that way, they can't imagine that. So it's like, no, there's no way that you could be doing something because you enjoy doing it. There's got to be something else. There's got to be another reason. There's no, so like that just tells me that just gives me glance into you. That's all. Because like that, you know, like it's that person projecting what they believe. So it's, anyways. Yeah, the human mind is a very interesting place.
Oh, very.
Okay.
Because wage slavery. What?
Wage slavery?
Yeah, that too. So that's kind of part of it too, right? Like, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know, it's, you know, the more stuff that you desire, right? Like the more stuff you're willing to trade away all of this excess time. You're willing to trade away the family, all this stuff, right?
Yeah, the person that you're thinking about, I'm pretty sure they probably had a little bit of ownership of their time. And so I guess, but the only thing that they could do with the rest of their time is try to figure out a way to make money off of it. But guess what? You know, I feel like if you have a passion, you could turn that passion into money if it's desirable to someone, and you're creative about it. Like for instance, when Corey asked me to do YouTube videos, and it's like I already was doing Bitcoin writing or going on podcasts and talking, and it's like I learned how to do this. It's like, wow, this is fun, and he paid me for it. And then I joined the Pleb Underground, and I'm able to. Did we have the wrong? Why are we in? We're supposed to be in that one.
Yeah, but
I want to see the half moon.
Okay.
and it's like, okay, I joined the Pleb Underground. And it's like, let's try to make this channel, or let me help try to make this channel, you know, profitable. And of course, all the people who join with us, you know, and watch the channel, you know, liking and subscribing and making sure that we are likable and subscribable. That's a part of the fun journey. But if it doesn't ever perfectly pan out, gosh, what a wild ride it is to be on stage with Humble and Phil on a weekly basis. Back when Walton was there, it was a fun time. And it's like, and I do the same thing with my basketball channel. And guess what? I wouldn't know much about basketball if I wasn't continually playing for free. The last time I even thought I had a chance to play for profit was when I was 23 years old. And I tried out for a D-League team, and they said, you can practice with us. But after that, for the last 20 years, I've been playing for fun, and I go practice for fun. But guess what? It's like, because of all that time, I gained knowledge. Because of that knowledge, I could potentially turn it into some sort of profitable venture that may not be extremely profitable, but it could pay for the time that I'm spending for it. And if it doesn't, what a journey. I just feel like people, you know, because of the opportunity for money, it causes people's incentives to twist and say, gosh, I can make money, but I have to scam those people. But I can make money, so I'll go ahead and scam those people. Figure out what's good in this world. Figure out what's good for you, and then think about, you know, can you actually make money? And then you end up making some potentially honest money, you know, because you put your ethics first. And I think that's what's great about this channel. And I would hope that more Bitcoin channels, you know, more Bitcoin educators, proponents would take that formula as opposed to the other one, which is get rich quick at the expense of others.
Yeah, I think, you know, to kind of touch base on what you just said, you know, like something that my father taught me when I was super young, and first started working, was that you got to be able to sleep at night. You know, like, I mean, at the basic core, right? Like you got to be able to sleep at night. You got to be able to sit there and say to yourself, all right, you know, like I'm proud of what it is that I'm doing, right? And it matters to me. And that's it. And by doing that, in all fairness, right, that steered me away from doing a lot of really stupid things throughout my life. Like, because it's like I've had a lot of shady opportunities throughout my life just as much as I've had not shady ones. And in all fairness, what kept me away from doing shady stuff that probably would have, quote unquote, sped me up a lot faster was, can I sleep at night doing this? And if the answer is no, then there is no choice, right? Like, nope, can't do it. And it sucks, right? Like, it sucks sometimes because you definitely want, it's like it's a balance, right? It's a balance between your your morals and who you are and what you desire, right? Because that's what that is, so it's interesting. And then that's where you start to you should be learning who you really are in those instances, right? This is where you get introduced to the the real you, like, what is it that I truly want? What is it that I am truly attempting to do? So it's interesting. I don't know, like, self-reflection is a double-edged sword, and if you do it too much, you kind of split in half sometimes. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but you're right about the sleeping at night. And I think many of us have seen people that you would think wouldn't change, but they did. Because it's like, well, just a little bit of this, and then their whole personality starts changing, and they become a person you don't even recognize anymore. And it's because of the incentives, and it's because they had to, and it's just like, is it really worth it? No, because I want to sleep at night. I want to know that I'm not hurting people and, hurting my family. So it's, the decisions you make.
It matters.
It does. It
right?
really does. Yeah.
I think, people don't necessarily give enough credit to stuff like the butterfly effect, but it's real, like that is something that is real. You can actually see it in your own life and how connected and the interconnectedness with everybody.
Yeah.
So.
And how amazing to think, like, if you stay true to yourself, your true authentic self, and it just develops into something, right? Like, people really appreciate you for you, and you never end up selling out along the way. Like, you can live with yourself, it's like, it's just going to maybe take longer. You're going to find your vibe. You're going to find your, the people that you vibe with. Right. And we're here together. We vibe. Like, we've known each other for a couple of years. So it's like, well, maybe more than a couple of years. So it's good to be here, and it's good to be here with people who enjoy hanging out with us. And we really do appreciate you guys. It's fun. I mean, the chat it's so fun. It's just great.
Yeah. And to close this out, I'll give this over to Phil, but when you talk about be true to your authentic self, we also have to realize that, in this world, there are some authentically bad people. And I think they've shown their head in the Bitcoin space, selling snake oil. And there's a possibility that the whole Bitcoin network has been punished because we haven't represented ourselves well. And maybe over time we learn to represent ourselves better. And I hope that a few people learn that example from the Pleb Underground. On that note, Phil, unless there's anything else from Phil and Humble, let's bring it home.
No,
I see moms chiming in. I just want to say hi to moms.
Hey, moms in Bitcoin.
Mom's awful.
Yeah, she's a trooper.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Phil C, I ain't saying no names, but we saying names. But we saying names. Yeah,
that's okay.
We say names every week because guess what? We're okay. We're okay with how we present ourselves, and it's like no one really. They know. The problem is they know what they do, and yet still they do it because their incentives are too great to be charlatans. And Bitcoin cannot win with charlatans. We say like Bitcoin wins no matter what. Bitcoin will be delayed by charlatans because there's a whole lot of people that need to adopt it in order for it to win, and no one's adopting overt scams. So until we clean things up, we collectively, people who are your enemies, friends, until all the enemies and friends clean it up, you ain't getting that million Bitcoin. They can keep on promising it. That million Bitcoin ain't coming until people understand its necessity, and the people who are selling it are clear and clean. Because otherwise, the regulars, the normies, the no coiners, they ain't coming, and you need them to win. So let's make sure we hold our leaders, our influencers accountable. That's it.
Damn. On that note, it's going to wrap up this episode of Bitcoin Tonight. Join me tomorrow, 12:10 p.m. Eastern. And guys, on Friday, talking about influencers, talking about big names. That's right. Jimmy Song is back. He was on the show about a year and a half ago, and that was when he was doing his tour for his book. But now we're gonna have him on the show. We're not talking about the book. We're gonna be talking about probably some contentious stuff that's going on these days in Bitcoin. So it should be a very good time. That's going to be on Friday. This Friday at like 6 p.m. Eastern, I think.
I think it's a little bit later than normal.
That's my time. It's it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for us for tonight. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.